All right, so this video is a little different than what I normally do. I want to make this somewhat condensed and show you that this can be done. This is could be a DIY project. Now, granted, I have Mike to do all the work, but I feel pretty confident that I could do this. I could buy these cabinets, I could level the feet, I could bolt them together, have a countertop guy come out and do this. And I think it would probably take me a couple of weekends, but I could put together a NatureKast cabinet array on my own. So this video is going to show you the roughly 15 to 18 steps that you need to do in order to finish it up, in order to put it all together. So first, let's talk about products you need. The one thing you're going to want if you're going to cantilever the countertop, I think they say you can do granite 12 inches, but I would still want to support it. So I found this company called Iron Supports. We'll put a link in the description. We'll have links to all the products there. Iron Supports makes various sizes. I think they even make custom sizes if you need to. In order to do those supports, you'll need some 1/4 inch by 3.5 inch bolts, nuts, and then washers. And you want to do this all in stainless. So go get some T304 or T316 stainless hardware, get it from McMaster-Carr or something like that. But you're gonna want them to be 3.5 inches long. The screws that you're gonna use for this project are a cabinet screw. So it's a screw that's designed for PVC and other composite materials. You need a 1 1/4 inch, 2.5 inch, and 3.5 inch size screws. You're gonna want a boatload of 1 1/4, so you'll probably wanna buy several hundred of those. And they're not cheap, they're T316 stainless. We want them in that so they won't rust. You don't want to have rusting fasteners and eventually in 5-10 years when they start to fall apart. You just don't want to go there, especially if you're in an area where there's salt water or there's lake, if there's a lot of humidity like I am in Florida, you want to use the right kind of screws. I would suggest when you get Shims, when you go to Home Depot, grab the plastic ones. This application, even though they're a little bit harder to work with, they snap instead of you cut and score and snap like a wooden shim. But having the plastic ones will keep everything lasting forever. So you'll want to use that. Same thing with drawer pulls. Now, I found some T316, especially if you're near salt water. The guys from NatureKast highly recommend you get 316 drawer pulls. I just couldn't find any that I liked, and so I just sacrificed and went to a T304. The 304 pulls from Top Knobs are pretty nice. We'll link those. So you'll want to get at least 304. In a perfect world, if you have salt water nearby, 316. And then you're going to want panel bond glue. Make sure you get so it's a construction adhesive. Make sure you get the stuff that is outdoor rated. You want to make sure that you grab that. Yeah. Yep. Okay, now what?
Well, we can't install them yet because the guy's not here. I would like to do that right now, but.
So what do I want to do now?
Go eat some sushi? No, I'm just thinking, sorry.
It seems like a big project. We don't really need a lot of stuff. A table saw is super helpful. It's also helpful to have a finish nailer. You're gonna want a miter saw, so you could rent the table saw and miter saw if you don't have those. A level, probably 2 levels would be smart. Get yourself a 48-inch level and a 24-inch level. A drill, you'll need a bit, I believe it's square number 2. And then I'm telling you, the best tool for this job is the Milwaukee M12 Surge. It has a hydraulic gear set that's just super, super smooth. You want that. Mike really recommends you get one of these because when you're driving into PVC, you could easily drive the screw straight through the cabinet. And so you have a lot more control with the gear set and the Surge tool. So make sure you get one of those. All right, so let's talk about how you do this. You're going to take delivery of the cabinet, so you want to inspect before you get your crew or get your guys or have your contractor or however you're going to do this. You're going to do this yourself. You're going to get all geared up. I would highly suggest, first thing you do, take the cabinets off the truck, inspect. You probably waited 3 to 4 months for these things. They have been pretty quick. They'll do a quick turnaround if there's a part that's missing, but it'll still take a week or so at least to get a replacement cabinet or replacement piece. So you want to make sure that when you're taking delivery, I wouldn't wait till you're doing the job. I would unbox, unwrap, put it in, kind of rough it in place. You don't want to leave the PVC, especially if you have black PVC cabinets. You want to make sure you cover them until you get your countertop over top of them. I think it's because the PVC doesn't have UV, but the resin, like all the faces and all the panels, are UV coated. So just keep that in mind. But go through your list, inventory everything, make sure you have what you need. You can use this video to make sure you have all the, all the products we talked about, all the tools and all of that. This stuff is coming freight, so there's a good possibility that there could be some damage. Don't freak out. You can just reach out to Kyle and the team, reach out to the design team, and help you figure out with NatureKast how we can maybe expedite. Like I had one damaged, or actually I had one mismatched piece on the one that I did at my house, and we got it in like a week. So they were able to fast track it.
I think I need to get something. Mike, can we get an espresso?
You need some.
An iced espresso, Mike, please. One, please.
To go.
Yeah, one to go. I like it in to-go cup. Okay, extra ice and breve, extra breve, Mike. Like it, yeah, like that. Mike's pretty good. You're quite the barista.
So if possible, if you're doing a hood, you'll likely want to do the hood first. It's not very fun to be hanging out over your cabinets. So if you have the option, I would suggest doing your electrical, getting your duct work done, and then installing your hood before you install the cabinets. It'll make the project a whole lot easier and a lot smoother for you. At this point, you're ready to run your water lines, do your electrical, run your gas lines. It's because you're working with PVC, it's easy to drill through. You can drill holes, you can hole saw through. And in some areas, you may need to get a contractor to do, like generally speaking, if you're gonna do gas, you would hire a plumber. The Evo is where I would feel a little less comfortable doing the install. The Evo becomes a little bit more difficult. Well, you need to cut the face. Same thing with your grill, you need to cut the face. Measure 8 times before you cut this thing. Now, if you were to screw it up, you're not gonna screw up the whole cabinet. The nice thing is, if you were to screw up that cut, most grills, the Evo also, they have a template. They have lots of documentation that tells you how deep to cut. Follow our guide here, watch our videos. The Evo doesn't need this, but any grill will need the insulated jacket. Because remember, these are PVC, which is plastic, and resin, faces. So you need to make sure you have an insulated barrier between that and your grill. You then put your uppers in as well if you had some uppers that you needed to install. Install your drawer pulls. That's another tool that you really want to get. Shoot, what's that thing called? This True Precision or True Position tools, which you can get these online. It's a jig for putting the door handles on. We'll search that out, put a link in the description for it. I can't tell you how many times I've used that darn thing since I bought it. And depending on how big of pulls you choose, you'll need the extension kit for it as well. It's called like TP Precision Tools or something like that. The one I have is really, really great. So then at this point, you're usually ready to do your toe kicks, do your back panels, do your trim pieces, do any kind of thing that's gonna clean up or finish up the cabinets. One thing that was advised by the NatureKast experts was to scuff or grab yourself a piece of sandpaper. We use the Milwaukee M18 orbital sander, but you want to scuff up the back of the black PVC or white PVC cabinet. That way you get better adherence because it's pretty shiny, pretty have a tendency for your adhesive to not stick. Then also when you're putting your back panels, you're putting your trim pieces in, you do want to secure those with screws. That's where you may have some instances where you may need the longer 2.5 inch or 3.5 inch screws. Then you do your backsplash. You would, your countertops would probably be in by now by your countertop installer. You'd get get some hateful of drawer inserts, finishing touches. Every NatureKast array comes with touch-up paint. The touch-up paint there's a little instruction, little thing in there that tells you how to do it. You'll very likely have a few imperfections from your install as well as delivery, so just keep that in mind. It's part of the process. So those are the steps you would use to install your cabinets. And again, I think that we didn't have these videos. Now, again, I'm cheating a little bit. I had Mike, but we didn't have these videos to do this. We had to kind of invent the videos. So you have my Florida home, you have my Helen home, you have this video, this how-to video, which kind of summarizes things. We'll be doing several installs in the future to show you how to do this, that it can be done. If worst case scenario, a handyman, get yourself a handyman who's done cabinets before, and the two of you ought to be able to do this together. Again, this is something that I think Michelle and I, and maybe hire, have another buddy come over, you could pull this together yourself. And that was my biggest question in doing this project. Could this be a DIY project? And I think the answer is yes. It's really not much more difficult other than using shims than doing a set of cabinets in the garage. If you've done something like that before, I'd feel confident tackling this in your outdoor kitchen area. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. Go to obsessedgarage.com to click on the Destination OG section, submit an application with our design team. We take a deposit that's non-refundable if you're going to take us through the design, but it applies toward the purchase of your cabinet array. So thanks for the support, and we hope we can help you out.